This is Kathy Biehl of EmpowermentUnlimited.net with Astro-Insight for the week of July 21st, 2025. It's a high energy week, which is actually part of the frustration. Mercury has just gone retrograde. Saturn and Neptune are also fairly newly retrograde. Eris, goddess of discord, also retrograde, all four in fire signs. Pluto's been retrograde for a while, but it's not really a factor in the phenomenon that I am alerting you to, and that is a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of running around, and yet a lot of running in place or running backwards or having the impulse to get going already and having things turn your attention around, making you trip, making you look behind you, making you go back over something that you thought you had already done, damn it. But again, high energy and probably fairly high mood as well. The sun joins the Fire Fest on the 22nd, entering the sign of Leo, and very quickly opens doors and windows to doing something differently, to gaining a different perspective, to trying something that maybe you haven't done before, to pushing the envelope. This is through a sextile to Uranus, the awakener, the quick change artist. It brings to mind the title of a Grace Paley short story collection from decades ago called Enormous Changes at the Last Minute. And as this is happening, there is a push, a drive, a compulsion to make things happen, to move off dead center, to get something going. Venus in Gemini is squaring Mars in Virgo. Now, symbolically, you can look at this as Venus stating what her preferences are and pushing Mars to go bring them into reality. Perhaps this is in a relationship. Perhaps this represents conversations or talk demanding that something be fixed, something be cleaned up, something be handled, because Mars is in the fix-it zone, the improvement zone of Virgo. And right after this happens, we have the new moon in Leo. Again, more fire, and this is a moment that invites and in fact pretty much demands that we redefine ourselves and redefine our goals to fit changing conditions. The new moon is opposite Pluto, so we're seeing big trends, we're seeing big power moves, we're seeing things having to do with technology and our collectives, and realizing that we have to take them into account. And at the same time, this moon is in a trine or a direct current with that Saturn-Neptune conjunction in fire, in Aries, in self-starting, go make it happen, Aries, and also in an opportunity aspect to Uranus. So the moon is incorporating whatever the opportunity was that the sun ushered in a couple of days earlier. Bottom line is, this moon is our way of consecrating ourselves to being in the new order of things and figuring out how we are going to thrive and flourish and maybe even have some fun and express ourselves in the middle of it all. Note what your impulses are. Note what the energy is that simply runs through you. For some people, this will be on the order of a spiritual download. For others, it may simply feel like massive inspiration, creativity, or perhaps just a sense of, this is what I am called to do. This is what I absolutely have to do right now. And with Saturn and Neptune both being in the sign of Aries, there's a fearlessness, a fierceness, a not worrying about the consequences and just doing streak to this. And then the weekend takes us into an opening between Saturn and Pluto, a sextile that's not quite exact, but certainly close enough that we're all going to feel it, where we are given the opportunity to sharpen our own sense of autonomy or control, or take responsibility for something, or make peace with our own demons, enlist them to work for our good, and maybe come up with a new place for ourselves in the order of things. All you pyros out there, this new moon certainly invites doing fire ritual. Go have fun with it. Homing thought of the week. If not now, when? Song of the week, The New World, from Songs for a New World by Jason Robert Brown. And the image of the week is the World card in the tarot. As always, you'll learn more about all this in my forecasts for the month of July and the Leo new moon, both of which are at my site, empowermentunlimited.net, where you can also get my Saturn and Neptune in Aries throughout history talk, sign up for my mailing list, listen to my weekly podcasts, and book a session with me. I'm Kathy Biehl, a professional astrologer with more than 35 years experience. I have lots of bonus content at patreon.com/Kathy Biehl, and I'm really grateful to the people who support my work there. I host the show Celestial Compass on Om Times Radio and TV on the first and third Monday of every month at 5 p.m. Eastern. And this week, my guest is my friend and colleague, Louise Eddington, telling us about her new book series in astrology. I also host conversation on Facebook on the page Empowerment Unlimited and in the group the Astro-Insight Lounge. I post on Blue Sky, Instagram, and Threads at K.A. Biehl, and on YouTube at the Professional Aquarian Channel. Talk to you next week.